What's going on, guys? It's Doubtful or Doubtful here, back again with another YouTube video. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to be talking about 5 tips to win more games in Marvel Rivals. Now, as you guys can see on my channel, I am mostly like a Call of Duty rank play, tips and tricks kind of content creator. I'll be posting gameplay for Call of Duty, but recently I've been trying to branch out to other games such as Marvel Rivals. I've been really enjoying the game, been playing a lot of ranked, and just recently I solo queued all the way up to Diamond. So I just want to get on here and, share some of my tips that I use to rank all the way up to Diamond. And yeah, so let's get straight into it. Alright guys, tip number 1 is don't rage queue. Now, as you guys have seen in Marvel Rivals, is right after a game ends, it'll say at the bottom right, 1 more round, and you insta just queue straight back into a game. One thing great about Marvel Rivals, is that you can get straight into the action just right after you lose, right after you win, basically just take no breaks. Now, playing like 5 to 10 games in a row, it can be really taxing on your mental, especially if you're losing, and you can get into something that I like to call the rage queue. Now, if you guys haven't played ranked in any sort of competitive shooter game before, basically what a rage queue is if you're on a 2 game loss streak or a couple game loss streak, you're just gonna queue and get angry and just queue up again and lose and queue up again and lose and queue up again and lose. So you're just basically spamming over and over and over again, just a loss after loss after loss. And Marvel Rivals, it's just gonna snowball, into you starting at gold 3 of the day, and you're gonna end the day in silver 2, and that's not what you want. So don't insta queue back up. Instead, take a little 5 to 10 minute break and hit the reset. Maybe watch a YouTube video, watch a stream, go use the bathroom, go get some water, maybe eat a snack or something like that. Don't automatically insta queue if you're on a 1 or 2 game loss streak, because then you're just going to snowball into more and more losses, and that's not what you want. You don't want to be in the rage queue. You don't want to constantly be losing SR, your rank, or whatever it's called in this game. You don't want to be losing those numbers over and over and over again, and it just steamroll into you going down 2 or 3 ranks. You want to just, if you're losing a couple games, just take a little reset and just come back, and you'll be all refreshed and start the queue back up again. Alright guys, tip number 2 is don't crash out on your teammates. Now listen, I do it too. It's a competitive game. Of course, if you have a Jeff on your team and he's doing horrible, of course you just want to let him know how bad they are. Of course, oh, I'm not getting enough heals, my tank isn't doing enough shielding, and we're not fucking pushing forward, DPS isn't getting enough kills, yada yada yada. I hear it all the time. Negative reinforcement, as we all know as humans, negative reinforcement isn't something that people are going to like. If you yell at someone, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, maybe I should, switch off this character. Maybe I should, switch from a DPS to a third healer, or go to a second off tank. No, if you get yelled at, a lot of these players, they're stubborn, they got ego, they're not going to switch off the character, especially if they're just getting ridiculed by all their teammates. So instead of, issuing them negative reinforcement, you want to treat them like they're fucking babies, because they are. All these fucking egoist fucking characters and players that refuse to switch off their one trick characters that they're doing bad with, they all are fucking babies. So instead of saying wow, Jeff, you're absolutely fucking horrible, I can't believe you absolutely ranked up to this gold or whatever, I honestly don't know, you're fucking god awful, please stop playing the game. Instead, you should be like, hey man, Jeff might not be the move right now. Another healer, another tank or something like that. Maybe I can switch to healer and you switch to DPS. Maybe you can switch roles. Let's switch something up here. Now, offering a question like this instead of saying off the bat man, you're absolutely fucking horrible, this will help them be more inclined to switch off of the character that they're getting fucking just steamrolled on. And it's not going to work every single time, as we know that people are stubborn and they won't switch when they're doing bad. But talking to them nicely, and if they do switch and end up doing better, you can offer them positive reinforcement, yo, thank you for switching, man, see what happened when we switched, bro, you're doing gross now. Something like that will make a player more inclined to switch in the future. So not only are you helping yourself out, you're going to be helping everyone else out in the same rank that you are right now. And say you match up with that player again, be like, yo, like here we go again, man. Like I'll go healer, you go like this character that we switched like last time, and like now you know that like that player is good at that character, and you can switch to like a healer or vice versa, yada yada yada. And you know, it'll just help the whole community and just your whole rank that you're in, basically, in the long run. Now, guys, tip number 3 is learn at least one hero for each role. Now, this is more geared towards solo queue players, but everyone needs to learn at least one role, or at least one hero in each role. This way, you not only learn how each role is played, you'll gain a better understanding of how team composition is in this game and where your teammates should be positioned on the map. And you also learn how to counter certain characters the more characters you learn and master. A lot of hero shooters, such as like, you know, Overwatch in this game, a lot of it is team composition, and you want to play the best characters to what your other teammates are playing. And there's a lot of, you know, heroes such as Cloak and Dagger that when she ults, there's a few characters like Magneto or Iron Man that can use their ult to take her ult out of the game and kill her. And you only know that if you play Magneto or you play Iron Man or you play Cloak. And you learn this the more characters that you play. So you will learn, you know, you'll learn how all of these roles are played. Now, if you're playing like a DPS and you're like, damn, I'm not getting heals, I'm not getting heals. If you play a healer, you'd be like, damn, why is that DPS like pushing up so much? They're not in my line of sight. I can't heal them, or they're pushing, or the tank's pushing up too much, or he's not pulling up his shield enough, and he's just getting, you know, just completely deleted by the entire team. He's not playing right. When you play these other roles, you'll see it from the other, basically you'll see it from the other perspective, and you'll gain a better understanding of why your healers aren't healing as much, why they aren't doing as good. Maybe as a DPS, I shouldn't be pushing as much. Maybe I shouldn't be hitting the backline as much. Maybe I need to be in the healer's line of sight more to get more heals. It'll just make you a better player because you'll know how the other roles are being played, how the other characters being played. You'll not only learn how to counter them, but you'll learn how the other roles are basically just played within this game, and you'll have more cohesion with your team. And say you have a Luna Snow on your team and you're a DPS. Hey, I've been playing Luna Snow for like couple games before. I know how this Luna Snow is gonna play. I know I need to, you know, like wait for her ult. I know I need to like stay in her ult, stay in the circle, yada yada yada. And like same thing with like a DPS, like, and you're a healer or a tank or whatever. Like I need to, if I'm Magneto and I see like a magic go in and dive, I know I need to bubble the magic to make sure that she stays alive whenever she goes and dives. So I put that Magneto bubble on her whenever she goes to the back line. You'll just learn little things like that the more heroes that you play and the more, you know, roles that you play. So try and learn at least one hero for each role, so you'll not only know how most of these characters are played and what all of their like their kits are, what all of their abilities are, what the cooldowns are and stuff like that, but you know, you'll also help with team composition, which actually leads me into the next tip. Now, the next tip is number 4, don't insta-lock characters. Now, I'm not saying don't always insta-lock characters, because if you're gross at a certain hero or a character, of course you should play them. But if you're constantly losing, maybe wait and see what your teammates pick and fill in what's needed to offer the best team composition. What I learned the most when I was mostly solo queuing to Diamond is that it doesn't matter how gross you are at a certain character. If the other team has a better team comp, then they'll most likely win. Doesn't matter if you're a fucking Iron Man with like the Hulk team up and you're dropping like a 60 bomb, you can still fucking lose. It's just how it is in these hero shooters. Whoever has the better team composition is more set up to win the match in terms of just like utilizing their team ups better, using their ults better. Doesn't matter how gross you are at a character, if the other team has a better team composition to shut you down, then they're gonna win the game. So if your teammates want to play a character that they're best on, like for example, so if your teammates want to like insta-lock a Psylocke, right? Like one guy just automatically insta-lock Psylocke. or you like, or they're like a Psylocke main, right? And you want to play Psylocke and you pick Psylocke before them, they're basically going to throw the game because they can't play any other character because they're a Psylocke one trick. Now, you basically just made your team throw instead of you switching off Psylocke to let him play Psylocke and you play another character, as I said before in the previous tip, to learn at least one hero for each role. So, what you should do is instead of basically just, and another tip like I said before is, yelling at this one trick Psylocke like, oh my god, you only know one character, like what the fuck, yada yada yada. Let your other teammates play the character that they're best on, because that's what they think that like they're best on, that they're gonna have the most impact with, and stuff like that. You're gonna want to pick characters and fill in what's basically needed to fill out that team composition to give your team the best chance to win. Now, this isn't always going to work because you're going to have characters and going to have heroes that are going to get shut down and countered, and you're going to have one tricks that just really aren't good and they don't know another like hero to play, yada yada yada. But that goes back into tip number 2, like I said before, don't crash out on your teammates. Maybe ask them, like, even though they're a one trick, like, yo, maybe try out this character, we need this character to counter like a storm. Like, maybe, hey Psylocke, like, it's not really working out right now, could you switch to like a Punisher, and maybe like a another hit scan character to take out an Iron Man or take out a Storm, or just stuff like that. You're gonna want to, especially if you're in a losing streak, like I said, you're not gonna want to insta-lock characters automatically. You're gonna want to see what the other people on your team are gonna pick, and then you're gonna want to fill in and just basically have the best team composition that you could possibly have to give your team the best chance to win. Now, guys, tip number 5 is going to be the last tip, and it's going to be communicate ults. Now, some games are either won or lost in terms of ult usage, especially in this new triple support meta. You have to be cautious when calling in your ult because these supports would just pop their invincible ult and make yours useless. Most of you should already know this, but in the mouse wheel section, like your communication, when you can like ping and stuff like that, there's actually an option to like tell your teammates when you have your ult, or like, I'm at like 75% of my ult, just so like you can communicate to your teammates that, hey, I'm gonna pop my ult soon, or I'm about to have my ult for this push, so we can go ahead and push together. And this will actually help your tank like know that, hey, this DPS is gonna ult, or this, like, or as a tank's like, I know my tank's gonna ult, I need to like push forward and use all of my abilities to like help out with this, like Groot ult when they're all gonna be pushed together. If I'm a Moon Knight and I see the Groot ult, I'm gonna call my Moon Knight ult like on that like all the enemies all grouped up, so I can get a full team wipe. And also as well, like with your supports, like, oh, I need to pocket this hero, this teammate right now, because I know he's gonna go in and he's gonna ult. I want to make sure that he's up so we can get the most usage out of that ultimate. Communication is key, like I said. Like, you don't want to be constantly like solo ulting and then their cloak and dagger pops their ult and there's nothing you can do, because now that ult is just useless. Like I said, a lot of games can mean win, like it can mean you either win or lose in terms of your ult usage. So always, always, always communicate your ults with your teammates, and basically just set yourself up for the best possible situation in every team fight. Now, guys, that's all the tips I have for now. I'll be making more Marvel Rivals content every week, so if you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I'm live every single Friday to Monday, so tune into my streams. You can ask any questions on how to get better at Marvel Rivals. It's going to be in the description below. It's also twitch.tv/doubtful_, the same way that it's spelled on my YouTube right here, DXUBTFUL_. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much all the tips that I have for now. Like I said, I'm going to be making more YouTube videos. If you want to see any more instructional videos, gameplay videos of a certain hero, make sure to drop them in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.